Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble dungeon guide, I'm going to take a look at Gnomeregan on a Beast Week. We have not had Gnomeregan Beast Week for a very long time. It has been more than a year since we last had this, so the old comps were a little bit obsolete. And Anub'arak was here, of course, on an Undead week, but that was also before all of the Anub'arak nerfs, so Anub'arak really... I can feel the difference. It's really not the same anymore. So basically I built two armies for this Gnomeregan for Beast Week. One for all the old beast leaders and one for Anub'arak that makes more use of Anub'arak's abilities. This is the army for the old beast leaders, so we have Ghoul tanking a little bit, then damage dealing with Plague Farmer, with Witch Doctor. We have Sappers. Sappers are good at taking towers on the second map. We have Quillboard that can tank especially the second boss so that we get to get some poison in it with Plague Farmer and also with Chimera, because with beasts otherwise very cheap army, so there's a way to weave in that Chimera, because Chimera is really good at killing the first boss. Chimera also kills the second boss quite quickly if it gets an unobstructed time on it, so if you can tank it with the Ghoul or if you can tank it with the Quillboard for a little while, then Chimera does wonders there. And that's basically the old leader army. And then for Anub'arak, previously I was just able to kill the boss immediately on the second map with Anub'arak, just swarm it. But it doesn't work that way anymore, not after all the nerfs to Anub'arak. So I have had to take some of the minis that I use in other armies in this one. So I've added Plague Farmer and I've added Goblin Sappers into the Anub'arak build. The other minis are something that Anub'arak usually uses anyway, so that I have a little bit more of that poison damage and I have some more ability to take those towers. And then with this army, everything went pretty smoothly. And this is what it all looks like in action. So here we go, Gnomeregan with Beast. We start with Charlga, and Charlga, so everything costs so little, and sometimes, again, so much. But anyway, pretty basic strategy here. We're trying to take the Meeting Stone, then we're going to try to send Chimeras, and we're going to try to send Plague Farmers from both sides towards the boss, so that then the boss is just going to get overwhelmed. And we pick up some of those shield devices when we can, and just try not to get killed at least. So there's now a bit of a push coming, so I will have to defend a little bit on the flank, but it looks okay. And we have currently a Plague Farmer hitting the boss, but now it's going to die, so we're going to need to refresh our armies a little bit. Witch Doctor goes in. So far so good. Now everything costs 5 because I have used some Chimeras. But I could also probably do this without using the Chimera at all, but Chimera is still nice when it gets to connect to the boss. And Charlga can do some really sweet things, stopping enemies right in the tracks, dealing some damage. Now we have some Plague Farmers coming from both sides. We have Chimera coming from the left. So now all of that poison is starting to trickle in, and the boss should just go down once all of these poison minis start to connect, because there's just too much poison. The boss won't be able to handle all of that. And as you can see, poison, 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 and boom, boss goes down. Then the second boss, Electrocutioner, the most difficult boss in any dungeon in the entire game. And what I want to do here, I want to defend the middle, and I want to get some Sappers to take some of the towers. If your Sappers are one level below the towers and have rocket boots, then they can take out a tower. If they're more than one level below the tower, then you will have to get something else out there, like a Quillboard or something, or have Plague Farmer assisting. You need a little bit of extra damage. Now my Sappers are -1, which means that they're just enough to take the tower there. And that obviously is some good news. Trying to kill the bear through the healing is not simple at all. But we managed to get through that. Everything's looking okay. Probably should not have sent the Quillboard there. Oh no, so now the Sappers are taking... ouch, those spiderlings. So ideally I would want to take those towers pretty quickly. Although with Charlga specifically, I could also get Charlga to disable tower, because Charlga's beam disables towers, but having some hard time getting it there. Now we managed to do everything all right. Okay, this is wonderful. Now we have two Plague Farmers going through mid. So what I really want here, I want to tank the boss, get those plague farmers to start dealing damage to it. But there's a chain lightning and a griffin rider, and we didn't manage to get the good poison outcome here yet. But we will soon, no worries whatsoever. I sent some minis through the middle, because there's going to be chests in the middle, and I want those chests. Like, there's a chest there right now. And I want to be the one who's going to claim that. So, sending the Quillbore out there. Now I'm trying to send a ghoul to tank, and I'm trying to send the poison damage dealers from the other side. And I'm trying to cycle towards my Quillbore. I managed to do that. I get the Quillbore out there. And now Dux Patrol managed to kill a Chimera, but look at the poison. The poison is now ticking on the boss. So much poison, and that's how it goes when you get it just right. So you tank, poison, and the boss goes down pretty quick. And then the final boss, and this is just whack-a-mole. So I'm going to play stuff on one side, on the other, on both sides. Play. Both sides try to mine as much as possible, and well, I do have to look a little bit into what's coming from each side so I can try to play minis that would counter them. And then just break all of those switches and win. So not much more to it. With this one, just playing on both sides. I'm playing this a little bit far back here so that they would take longer to walk towards the boss, because the boss has that huge damage protection shield. It takes some damage through it, but very little. And then it's just going to kill all the minis that are going to reach close to it. So I don't want them to just run to the boss and then they would all just die, but take it a little bit easier. Here we go, one side and the other. Prowler managed to charge into that switch and break it. So now it's taking some damage. Also the Gnoll was able to break a switch there, but it's gonna be fine as long as I keep having stuff on both sides and mine whenever I can. It's all going to be good. No worries whatsoever. One side, then the other, and one side, then the other, and then the boss is already dead. Then the same army with old Murk-Eye. So you don't necessarily have to play old Murk-Eye here, but when you get a good opportunity like here, I have old Murk-Eye in my opening hand. Alright, let's make some Murlocs, because why not? Making Murlocs is fun. Then again, they sometimes just get chain lightning, but hey, even more Murlocs. And Murlocs, and some more Murlocs, and more Murlocs. And yeah, we're starting to get some overwhelming power out there. Things are looking actually pretty sweet. Alright, I want to mine, but now I got such a great attack going that I had a lot of extra gold. And when I had a lot of extra gold, that meant that I was able to just get another group with Murk-Eye out there. But remember that you don't have to use Murk-Eye. Sometimes waiting for the ability to use that Murk-Eye is just the wrong thing to do, but here it worked out really nicely. And then the Electrocutioner, the hardest boss in the game. So I don't have Murk-Eye in my hand. I can't immediately do any Murk-Eye things. I'm sending out some sappers because I had an opportunity to do so. Now there's enough stuff around that tower that I won't be able to take the tower here. But at least the tower is out of action for a little while. So that will have to do. And that also gave me an opportunity to save a little bit of gold. Get Murk-Eye out there. And with Murk-Eye, I'm able to get a bunch of minis. And now we're attacking the side and we're attacking through the middle. Well, rockets do kill armies quite effectively, but we still ended up with one tower out of that push, so that wasn't too bad. Now sadly I'm losing the middle chest that I really don't like. But hey, happens sometimes. But again, I'm in a position to save a little bit. And when you're offered such an opportunity when you play Murk-Eye, then yeah, sure, you'll take it. Just doesn't always happen that way. Boom, boom, now we got the second tower. Alright, now we're also getting through mid. Yes, good. Here I probably should actually just play minis, because now my tower is under a lot of stress, and yeah, that's not good. Yeah, waiting for that Murk-Eye actually didn't turn out that well here. So as you can see, sometimes you want to wait for it, sometimes you really don't want to, and it can be hard. Hard to figure out which way is the right way sometimes. And losing all the Murlocs in the middle. Now I have some tanks, and then I can get some poison. I'm also able to mine a little bit. Well, not much poison it seems. But at least the dwarf is dead, so then the bear is also going to die. Alright, now this is good. Now this is good. I'm in a good position. I am getting a lot of gold. I have Murk-Eye coming. Just send stuff. Right, we have some poison. We have a tank on the other side. Now we have a tank right next to the boss, and all the Murlocs are coming through the middle, and there are tanks at the boss, so the Murlocs actually get to connect. And then we get the poison coming in from the left. Beautiful attack, and the boss just goes down. Once you get that good attack going, then that's the key. And then a round of whack-a-mole. And here we go. So on one side and then the other. Now there's an ogre mage and a gnoll, so that's actually pretty powerful stuff coming. I'm wondering how much I need to kill those, but well, splashing pumpkins. Splendid talent. So I haven't tried to get Murk-Eye going here, because I just haven't needed it. Here I'm actually not thinking that I want to play with Murk-Eye anyway. That doesn't really make sense. I shouldn't. I could have saved that switch if I didn't. Should have just kept playing those 2-cost minis on both sides. That would have been the optimal plan. But hey, like, all those Murlocs on the board, it's just fun. So I couldn't say no to it. And then I can do it again. Yes. Let's go, Murk-Eye. Trying to send stuff as far back as I can so that they would last on the board a little while longer. And all those Murlocs going in. That's beautiful. I am now losing the switch on that side though. These prowlers are sometimes a little bit annoying. They can take some hits, and with charge they really pack a punch. Alright, so we do another one. Again, I should not have really waited for that. I would have been better off if I had just played minis out there faster, so that I would be able to take more switches. Well, at this point it didn't really matter anymore, because victory is already at hand. And then we'll do Anub'arak. A little bit different. You still want to make good use of those beetles. But yeah, Anub'arak has lost a lot, to be honest, since its glory days. Obviously having these unbounds, there are some good things going on here with the Anub'arak. But now I found Anub'arak too late, so I probably should have actually just played with the minis I got, used those battlings a little bit earlier too, and then just moved on from there, instead of trying to get that Anub'arak on the board when it wasn't coming early enough. So sometimes of course it comes with later in your opening hand. But these unbounds are nice. So now I have the protection shield on the beetles as well. So it comes to every mini that touches at the same time. Typically if minis are running towards it, then only one touches it at the same time. But when minis spawn on it, or it spawns on top of minis, then it can be granted to multiple minis at once. And as you can see there, Anub'arak got thrown back, so yeah. Oh, that one hurt, because that means that I'm now going to lose the stone. Yeah, that was tough. Now I had to take the other one, so that I would hopefully be able to grab the chest there. I have to go back to the stone. Now I really can't afford to wait for Anub'arak. I have to get stuff out there, even though I don't get the beetles. Okay, and that way maybe we can recover from this. Looks like we can. Now I have plague farmers coming from both sides, so it's sort of poison both sides. Lost the left plague farmer. That's a little awkward. I'm going to lose the other one too, actually, because of that harvest golem. Well, my base is not taking too much damage, so no worries. I probably could wait for an Anub'arak here, and then I could have gotten beetles in, which would have added some poison, but be that as it may, it's all fine and good. Then Anub'arak taking on the Electrocutioner. I still remember back in December you were able to just immediately attack the Electrocutioner, not take any towers. That's how powerful Anub'arak used to be before the first nerfs just before Christmas. Well, now it's not quite the same. I actually did try that. Because I wanted to say, okay, can I still do it? But no, I can't. I cannot. I have to take the towers and be a little bit more boring. But I can't take the towers. I mean, Anub'arak is perfectly fine for that. There's a bunch of unbounds available, so there's some nice support. Not bad at all. Alright then, beetle time. Whoosh. There we go, but I would need a tank, and I don't have a tank available. I still want to fight for the chest in the middle too. Not about to give up on these chests here. Nope. The left tower looks a little bit damaged, but still having those towers is such an incredible asset. Now, popping in the Quillboar to tank and then sending out the beetles. Let's start getting some poison out there. Well, many beetles died. But it's not that bad, because as long as we get the poison is still running. I need the Quillboar. I need the Quillboar to refresh the poison. Okay. Well, I didn't refresh the poison. I probably should have, but that was still enough. And boom. Anub'arak still pretty explosive sometimes. And then the final whack-a-mole. Oh, going left, going right. Now that I happened to have Anub'arak in my opening hand and Thermaplugg opened with the giant, I decided to do this. Thermaplugg has a couple of pretty different plays available to it, really, because sometimes it likes to open with the giant, sometimes it likes to open with the prowler. Often what it opens up with is something that it keeps playing multiple times during the game. It just gets into different types of cycles depending on its opening hand. But let's see what's going to happen in this one. I know that beetles are definitely being destroyed en masse. And I'm thinking about, okay, what if I Anub'arak anyway? Yeah, it's not what you really want to do here, but hey. Fun matters. And Anub'arak is hilarious. No, oof, the safe pilot sniping that switch. My base taking damage a couple of times. That's tough, but let's see. It should still be okay in the end. Just dropping some stuff left and right. Flyers can't claim the switches, so the diabatlings are not as useful. But still, oh no, there's a lot of switches unclaimed. Need to claim some of those and then we will win. And boom. So that was Gnomeregan with Beast Bleeders. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.